Anna Smith, a retired teacher, lived in a simple house in New York, surrounded by a garden she meticulously cultivated herself. After the death of her husband, Anna found comfort in the company of Kiko, her pet parrot. With his bright green feathers and curved beak, Kiko was more than just a pet. He was a family member and Anna's loyal companion. Anna and Kiko had a well-established routine. Every morning at the first rays of the sun, Kiko would wake Anna with a cheerful, "Good morning." That echoed through the house. Anna would then prepare her coffee, and together they would go to the garden. Kiko, on his perch, watched attentively as Anna tended to the plants, often repeating the affectionate words she used to encourage their growth. Neighbors often passed by Anna's garden, drawn by Kiko's singing and the beauty of the flowers that adorned the house. It was a tranquil and serene life, marked by small moments of joy that Anna shared with her parrot. One day, Anna was particularly tired. She had spent the night awake, reminiscing about times past with her late husband. Kiko, sensing his owner's sadness, tried to cheer her up with his usual antics, repeating funny phrases that always made her laugh. Anna smiled, grateful for her feathered friend's constant presence. In the afternoon, while tending to the garden, Anna felt a sudden dizziness. She quickly sat down on the wooden bench next to Kiko, who watched her with curious eyes. "It's okay, Kiko," Anna murmured, trying to reassure the parrot and herself. But the dizziness didn't go away, and she began to feel an unusual weakness in her legs. Worried, Anna decided to go back inside to rest. She walked slowly, with Kiko flying in circles around her, as if trying to protect her. Upon entering the living room, Anna tripped over the rug and fell, hitting her head hard on the floor. The pain was intense, and within seconds everything went dark. Kiko, in panic, started screaming. His cry was no longer cheerful, but a desperate and anguished sound that echoed through the empty house. "Help! Anna fell! Help!" he repeated, trying in some way to attract the attention of someone who could help. Minutes passed slowly, and the house that was once full of life was now wrapped in deadly silence, interrupted only by Kiko's screams. However, the neighbors were used to the parrot's antics and did not realize the seriousness of the situation. With Anna unconscious on the floor, Kiko continued his alert cries, never giving up. He knew his owner needed help, and even though he was just a parrot, he was determined to do everything he could to save her. Hours passed before Anna's neighbor, Mrs. Helen, noticed something strange. She knew Anna was very punctual in her afternoon walks and found it strange not to see her that day. Worried, she decided to check. As she approached the house, she heard Kiko's desperate screams. "Help! Help!" Helen ran to the door and upon opening it, found Anna unconscious on the floor and Kiko flying frantically around her. Without wasting time, she called emergency services, which arrived quickly. Anna was rushed to the hospital, while Kiko stayed at home, still agitated but now alone. At the hospital, doctors discovered that Anna had suffered a traumatic brain injury and was in a coma. Kiko, at home, continued to repeat the sounds of pain and the cries for help that Anna had made before fainting, as if he understood the gravity of the situation. Days turned into weeks, and Anna's family faced a difficult decision, whether or not to withdraw the life support keeping her alive. Days turned into weeks and eventually into months. Anna remained in a coma, her condition unchanged. In the hospital, doctors were pessimistic, and the family began to consider the difficult decision of withdrawing life support. Meanwhile, at Anna's house, Kiko continued to demonstrate the depth of his intelligence and loyalty. After the accident, Kiko had been taken to the home of Anna's niece, Martha. She tried to take care of the parrot, but Kiko was clearly distressed and disoriented without Anna. He continued to repeat the sounds of pain and the cries for help he had heard before Anna fainted. "Help! Help!" he cried, his voice echoing through Martha's house, bringing a constant reminder of his owner's desperate situation. At the hospital, Anna's condition was critical. The doctors had done all they could, but there were no signs of improvement. The family gathered regularly to discuss what to do. Martha, now caring for Kiko, was one of the most reluctant to give up. "What if she wakes up? What if there's a chance?" she questioned, tears in her eyes. But time passed, and hope diminished. It was during one of these family meetings that Martha decided to bring Kiko to the hospital. Maybe his presence can make a difference, she suggested, receiving skeptical but understanding looks from the others. With special permission from the hospital, Kiko was brought to Anna's room. In the hospital room, the atmosphere was heavy. Anna was connected to several machines that monitored her vital functions. Kiko, upon seeing his owner, began calling out to her with his clear voice. "Anna, Anna, wake up!" he repeated incessantly, flying from side to side, clearly disturbed by the sight of Anna lying motionless on the bed. The doctors and nurses passing by the room couldn't help but notice the parrot's behavior. Some thought it was a futile attempt, but others saw a glimmer of hope. Kiko's words, so full of emotion, seemed to penetrate the oppressive silence of the room. Meanwhile, Anna's family faced an agonizing dilemma. The decision to withdraw life support was incredibly difficult, and each tried to cope with the situation in their own way. Martha, still hopeful, spent hours at the hospital watching Kiko as he called out to Anna repeatedly. The following days were marked by growing tension. The family finally scheduled a meeting with the doctors to discuss removing the machines. Martha was devastated but understood that it was a decision that needed to be made. On the day of the meeting, Martha brought Kiko to the hospital once more. The parrot, now familiar with the environment, began calling out to Anna as soon as he entered the room. "Wake up, Anna! Wake up!" he cried, his voice echoing through the corridors. Martha, tears in her eyes, held Anna's hand, hoping for a miracle. The doctors arrived for the final meeting. The machines keeping Anna alive emitted regular sounds, creating a mechanical symphony in the room. The family, gathered around the bed, was ready to say goodbye. It was then that Kiko, once again, started shouting, "Wake up, Anna! Wake up!" To everyone's surprise, there was a slight movement in Anna's hand. Martha, feeling the change, squeezed her aunt's hand tighter. "Anna, can you hear me? Please wake up!" Kiko continued to shout, his voice now almost desperate. "Wake up, Anna! Wake up!" The doctors, initially incredulous, began checking Anna's vital signs. And then, against all odds, Anna's eyes began to open slowly. Kiko, sensing the change, landed gently next to his owner, looking directly at her. "Anna," Martha murmured, her voice choked with emotion. "You're back." Anna's eyes opened slowly, blinking against the soft light of the hospital room. Kiko, still beside her, continued to repeat, "Wake up, Anna." His voice now seemed full of hope and determination. Martha, seeing her aunt's eyes finally open, couldn't hold back her tears. "Anna, you're back. We're all here with you," she said, holding Anna's hand firmly. The doctors, who had initially been skeptical about Anna's chances of recovery, now moved quickly to assess her condition. They checked her vital signs, conducted basic neurological exams, and adjusted the machines around her. Every movement was filled with a mix of professionalism and disbelief. "Anna, can you hear us?" asked Dr. Anderson, the neurologist in charge of the case. Anna blinked slowly and with visible effort, moved her head in a slight affirmative nod. Although she was still too weak to speak, her eyes showed understanding and recognition. Kiko, seeing his owner respond, began flapping his wings and making joyful sounds as if celebrating Anna's recovery. "Anna, you're back! Anna, you're back!" he repeated, filling the room with renewed energy. Martha, still holding Anna's hand, turned to the doctors. "What happens now? What do we need to do to help her fully recover?" Dr. Anderson replied with a hopeful smile. "Now that Anna is responding, we need to monitor her progress and start a rehabilitation program. It will be a long process, but it's a great sign that she has reacted." In the following days, Anna underwent various evaluations and started physical therapy sessions to regain her strength and mobility. Martha was always by her side, as was Kiko, who had now become a sort of mascot at the hospital. All the staff knew the story of the parrot who had helped bring Anna back. Kiko, with his constant presence and animated repetitions, became a source of motivation for Anna. He was always there, encouraging her with his words and mimicking the commands of the physical therapists. "Get up, Anna! You can do it!" he said, echoing the encouragement from the healthcare professionals. Days turned into weeks, and Anna continued to make remarkable progress. Although a full recovery was still distant, every small advance was celebrated. Martha, who had taken a leave of absence from work to care for her aunt, was exhausted but full of hope. One morning, while Anna was practicing rehabilitation exercises with the help of Kiko and the therapists, she finally managed to speak for the first time since the accident. "Kiko," she murmured, her voice weak but full of emotion. The parrot, hearing his owner, immediately responded, "Anna, you can do it! I'm here!" The news of Anna's recovery spread quickly. The story of Kiko, the parrot who saved his owner, became an example of love and loyalty, inspiring everyone around. Journalists came to the hospital to cover the incredible story, and Anna, still fragile, smiled for the cameras, with Kiko perched on her shoulder.